Alright guys, welcome to the second ever YouTube video on my channel. Feeling absolutely amazing today, and I want to deliver you guys a ton of value right now. So I'm changing the structure of these videos a little bit. I got a janky little sticky note here. I got 3 things written down that I want to talk about. So for those of you that don't know, over the past 100 days or so, I've been working on growing a holistic health community to 20K per month. That's our goal right now. And as of right now, I'm just documenting this process in a long form manner on YouTube. I'm doing it on short form on Instagram, but I just want to provide you guys even more in-depth, intimate, and more relatable content on YouTube. So 3 things I want to talk about in this video. One is overnight success. So you're going to hear a lot of people on the internet tell you that success isn't overnight, right? Just doesn't happen overnight. It's not possible. It takes years, it takes decades, whatever it may be. And I want to tell you guys that that just isn't true, right? Because at the end of the day, it does come overnight. Like, success does come overnight. To give you guys a bit of backstory, for the past 2 years, I've had my head down, just been grinding. I have tried tons of different businesses, from drop shipping to SMMA to crypto to NFTs to e-commerce to literally anything you can think of, because I live in a small town right now. I live in Marietta, Georgia, and I don't want to live a life like everyone else around me. It's sad in my opinion. I don't want to end up like the people around me, and I want to do something more with my life. If you're watching this video, you probably have the same mindset. So I've tried all the different business models. I've done it all. I've probably spent an accumulation of like $30,000 investing in courses, products, just different kind of investments to actually make this stuff succeed. And I've failed at a bunch of it. But over the past 30 days, our business is right now at about $9,000 per month. So pretty much overnight success. Like, in the past 30 days, I've gotten to the point where I'm making more money than I've ever made from any of those endeavors. I've maybe made $5,000 per month with sales, high ticket sales, when I did that. And I ended up getting fired from that role because it wasn't something I was passionate about. I wasn't doing the back end work and the follow-ups and all the stuff that came along with it. But all this to say that over that 2-year period, these 30 days is the time where I've had the most success and I'm making the most amount of money. And it's pretty much came like that. But the caveat to that is that that overnight success, it can come super, super quickly. But it took years to lead up to that overnight success. So while it does happen overnight, and while it can happen very, very quickly, it can also take years to actually build up to that night. So that is just one very important thing to know when you're getting into business, because when you see people who are successful, when you see people on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever it may be, who are just making a ton of money, who are killing it, it seems like it's so far off and it's so far away, but literally it could all happen in a matter of like 3 to 6 months. Seriously. If you find the right vehicle, if you can work on yourself and your identity enough, which is going to bring me to my next point, you can have that very, very quickly if you just believe that it's possible. So that brings me to my next point, which is identity, right? Because for the past 2 years, when I was failing at all of these businesses, when I was not making a lot of money, when all of my friends were, in college, when they had stable jobs, when they were pulling in money, there is an identity that starts to form in your mind that, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't cut out for me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But everything about success comes down to your identity and how you view yourself. For example, let's just say you're an Olympic athlete and you get paralyzed, right? Your identity and how you view yourself is as an Olympic athlete. One of the fittest and most athletic people on the entire planet. So that identity is going to bring you back to that point of athleticism as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, because you match your identity in your mind. You do not rise to your expectations, you fall to your standards. And a really great analogy to think about this is you can think of your identity like a thermostat, right? You have a thermostat in your house. Say it's set at 70 degrees for sake of even numbers. And if the temperature starts to go up above that, your house is going to say, whoa, 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 we need to bring it back down to 70 because this is what we're set at. In the same way, if it starts to get colder than that, your house is going to turn on its heat, so it brings it back up to 70. And your self-image and how you view yourself is the same way. So if you view yourself as someone who is extremely successful, you're in the best shape of your life, you're an Olympic athlete, your thermostat is set at 100, right? So the second you start to fall below that, your standard is set up here. So you're going to do everything in your power to work back up to how you view yourself and of that standard. But in the same way, and this is the reason self-sabotage happens, if you view yourself as a 30 or a 40, let's say you view yourself as overweight, not in shape, you are not a healthy person, you don't view yourself as someone who's worthy of making money. As soon as you start to get above that 30 or that 40, as soon as you start making a little bit more money, as soon as you start getting in a little bit more shape, you're going to say, whoa, 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 I'm a 30, I'm a 40. I need to sabotage myself to get back to my place of comfort, which is my baseline. And that is exactly what success is, because for the past 2 years, my self-image and my identity was not someone who could make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month with a business. But the second you make that identity shift, everything starts to flow. And that's literally what I've experienced this past month. Because a lot of people do not think they're worthy of making money. They don't think they're capable of it. They think it's so far off and it's so away from them that it's not possible. So, all of that to say, if you want to change your life, you must change your standards and how you view yourself. You have to change the way you operate in the world and who you actually are. Another amazing analogy that one of my mentors gave me is that life is a mirror with a delayed reflection. So if you right now step into this mirror, the mirror is what's reflecting your external reality. That mirror will be reflected back to you in, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, whatever it may be, because of who you are and how that creates your world. In the same way, if you step in front of that mirror as the idealized version of yourself, the person who's killing it, the person who's making all the money, who has an amazing relationship with life and money and everything, and you act as that person and you step in front of that mirror, yes, it may be uncomfortable because you're deviating your thermostat, but your reality has no other option but to reflect that. It might take a little bit longer. It might take 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, but for every action has an equal or opposite reaction. In the same way, if you go to the gym and you eat healthy, there's no other option but for you to get in shape. And it's the same thing with success and money in life. If you take action, if you're consistent, if you do the work and you learn a high income skill, there's no other option but for you to become extremely successful. It is the laws of the universe. It's how everything works. But the thing is, you have to be comfortable enough and you have to understand that it is possible to deviate from that thermostat and sit in that uncomfortable state until that reality comes. So change your identity, change your life. That's what manifestation is. That's what tons of spiritual teachers teach. That's what business teachers teach. That is the way. Because even with manifestation is not sitting here seeing your dream reality and it just magically comes to you. That's not what it is. Manifestation is seeing that reality, and feeling that reality and feeling the person who has achieved that reality, so that in your everyday life, after that visualization or manifestation, you can start acting as that person. Because again, if you can sit in front of that mirror for long enough as that person and operate from that frequency, the reality will simply come to you. That's the way, the universe works. So again, change your identity, change your life. And that brings me to my next point, which is the people that you spend your time with will determine your identity. And I know this is something that's talked about all the time in the space of business, in the space of entrepreneurship, self-development, whatever it may be. But like, guys, you seriously are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Whether that's your mom, your dad, your friends, your coworkers, whatever it may be, I want you to seriously think about the people you spend the most time with and project into their future. Like, look at those people and say, okay, where is this person going to be in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? And if this person isn't where you want to be, or even on the same level, then they're not your friend. Like, they may be someone who's an acquaintance or someone who's fun to hang out with, but they're not a soul brother. They're not a soul connection that you have in your life. And again, this is going to be one of those things where, like, it is tough to deviate from your thermostat in the way that most people, most friendships, like, as much as this sucks to say, most people who have friendships in college, even in life as adults, you see this all the time. Most people who have close friends are simply friends with these people because it makes them feel better about their life. Like, let's say most people, it's 99% of people, they had these dreams, these aspirations, these goals when they were a child. And now that they're 30, they're 35, they're 40, 25 even, they haven't reached them. And if they spend time with people who have achieved those goals, then they're going to feel like shit about themselves. But if you can spend your time with people who are on the same level as you, didn't achieve their goals either, then it says, oh, it's okay. Like, it's okay that I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve because no one else did either. So in the same way, the people you spend your time with, if they're smoking, if they're drinking, if they don't have a good outlook on life, if they don't want success, if they don't want to be different from everyone else and you do, that's going to rub off on you just through osmosis. Because in the same way as, let's just say I live in a house with 5 ice cream experts. One of them works at Haagen-Dazs, one of them works at Myers, and all of the top ice cream experts that own these companies. I live in a house with them. I don't care about ice cream. I could not give less of a shit. But just the fact that I live in that house with people, after a month, even a week, I'm probably going to know more about ice cream than 99% of people, just because that's who I'm spending my time with and that's what they're talking about. So in the same way, if you're someone who is trying to dream big, if you're trying to achieve big things, if you're trying to do big things in life, and you have people around you talking about smoking, drinking, partying, girls, all these things that aren't serving you, you're going to start to think that that's normal in reality, because at the end of the day, it is normal. Like, 99% of people in college, in high school, in the world are focused on those things that don't actually matter because it fills a void inside of them when they don't have a purpose in their life. And if you're spending your time with those people, even though you intellectually know where you want to be and what it takes to get there and the things that you have to cut out to do those things, if the people around you are doing those things, you're going to start to think it's okay. And that is going to delay your growth until eventually you wake up one day, you're 25, you're 30, whatever it may be, and you have too much responsibility, you have too much debt, you have too much going on in life to actually achieve what you want to achieve. And then you end up like everybody else. So guys, please be careful about who you spend your time with. Even if it means cutting people off. Like, throughout my journey, for probably the past 2 years, I've been more or less lone wolf on this journey. I've had friends, yes, I've had colleagues. Right now I have a business partner, which is absolutely amazing because we're on this journey together. But when I was in college, before I dropped out, when I had friends in my hometown, like, no one else is on the same wavelength. No one else wants the same things. And yes, there's people out there, but like 99% of people don't. So it's important to know that within every interaction, within every friend group, within every hangout session, there's an exchange of energy that happens. There's a normalization of reality that takes place. And I think knowing that can change your outlook on everything. Because even this video right now, you watching this video right now, me talking to you right now, there's an exchange of energy taking place. Maybe you're getting motivated. Maybe you are thinking about your friends. Maybe you're feeling something inside of your body, and that is an exchange of energy that is taking place from this interaction. And in the same way, every person in your life, every conversation you have, every interaction you have, every person that you talk to, there's an exchange of energy that takes place that either brings you up or takes you down. So being cautious of that and taking note of how other people make you feel, even if they are amazing people, if they make you feel like your dreams aren't as possible as you think they are or you know they are, just take note of that and be cautious of that. Because that is a big, big anchor that can weigh you down. So guys, to summarize the 3 points that I got here on my janky little notepad: change your identity, change your life. If you can set your standards to a level that make it inevitable for you to achieve your dream reality, it will come. There's no other option but for it to come. And, sometimes this takes a lot of work. Sometimes this takes a lot of mindfulness, of meditation, of self-hypnosis, whatever it may be. But if you can convince yourself or even delude yourself that the activities that are no longer serving you are below you and are not matching the standard of how you view yourself, success will become inevitable. And if you can stand in front of that mirror for long enough, your reality will reflect that. You just have to be comfortable standing in that and sitting in that for long enough. The second thing, overnight success. It can happen. If you can change your identity fast enough, if you can stand in that mirror and not be swayed back and forth on your thermometer and just raise your standard and stay there for long enough, it can happen very, very quickly. And the third thing is being cautious of who you spend your time with. Because if all of your friends are operating at a 30 on their thermostat and you're trying to get to a 60, 70, 80, 90, that's just a weight around your ankle. Take note of the people you're around, project into their futures, and if that's not where you want to be, they're not your friends. So guys, that's all I got for you. Second video on my channel. I hope it was valuable, and I'll see you guys next week with some more lessons and some more notepads.